Just got really bright in here, boy. Hey, what's up, soldiers? How everybody doing? If you're now logging in, would you be able to tell me if the Hillary, Sandra, how you guys doing? ALX, how you doing? Alex, ALX. Clayton, hello from Montserrat. Friends, can you all hear me at all? I know this is the same thing I keep saying week after week, you know. Gerald Rampersad. Just hit me a little thumbs up or something if you guys can hear me, okay? Thanks, Sandra. Sharon, how you doing? Hillary, thank you. Angela, thank you. Just gonna wait for a couple more minutes because I think YouTube is one of those things where Charles, Dear, Archie, Michelle, Christine, Angel, Claytine. I'm glad you tried that stew chicken recipe. Yeah, what I was saying is that with YouTube, sometimes some people get the notification that we're live. Other people don't get the notification that you're live. Denise, how you doing? Anne, Jen's World, thank you so much. I, Romaine. One of the things, I've been doing this for quite a while now. I think I started here on YouTube a good 7, 8 years or something. Been focusing here on YouTube for about 5 years now. And what I notice is that strawberry ice cream, I'm glad you like it. Speaking about that strawberry ice cream, I have a machine-free version coming out pretty soon. It won't be with necessarily with coconut, but it will be an ice cream you can do if you don't have an ice cream machine. Shamil, thank you so much for joining in all the way from Trinidad. Sweet Trinbago. Johnny is asking about my take on carrot juice. There should be a carrot punch. In Jamaica, I think it's known as carrot juice for the most part. In Trinidad and the Southern Caribbean, we call it carrot punch. So check carrot punch um, on the website and on YouTube here. Queen X is asking, do I have recipes from other countries or just your own food? Caribbean pot, so need I say more? What I do from time to time, I post recipes that I like here on YouTube, but I don't necessarily post the actual printable recipe on CaribbeanPot.com, trying to keep things organized. You know what I mean? St. Vincent in the house. Love me some St. Vincent, you know. Long story there. Irma from Georgia. Georgia is probably hot now. If it is 40 degrees here in Toronto, I could only imagine how hot it is in Georgia. Baby girl Das. Thank you so much, baby girl. I love that one. Um, Samuel, recipes for soursop ice cream. No, I don't, Samuel, and simply because when you do get soursop here in Canada, it's very expensive, and two, for some reason they ship it young or green and it never goes ripe. I'm not gonna play around with those hard. That's just too hard. That's like putting a brick in my blender. I'm not gonna do that. The last time I was home on the islands, not the last time, the time before that for carnival time, there was a lot of soursop in my dad's backyard, but I didn't have the equipment to make soursop ice cream. Quick hello to Irma. We've got Trini cooking, my friend from down in Florida in the house. How you doing, Trini cooking? Natasha, that is. I'm sure the young man is getting older now and lipping you off already. Don't forget, I may be down. I think we spoke about this in December. I'm also going to be in Florida in in October for Soca on the Seas. So I don't know if you want to link up. Then I may have some free time. You see what I mean? Same thing I'm saying. Chili cooking, Natasha. I can only imagine. Wait till terrible twos rules around. But here's the thing about parents, parenting, and kids. People talk about terrible twos and all that. Yo, I'll give that any day. You hit when, especially if you have girls and they hit teenage years, mama, yo, problems. Especially when you got more than one and it's at fighting for clothes. Kristen Kennedy, how you doing? Chuck, hey, how you doing, Chuck? Kim Tyler, Johnny Joseph. What I was saying earlier there is that because of the size of my channel and the length of time I've been doing it, what happens is not everybody's getting notifications when I publish new videos, when I go live, such as this. I'm close to 500,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I really wish the 500,000 people would get notified when things go live or when new videos go out there. Guys, if you don't mind, if you haven't already, click that bell that notifies people when there's a new video. Chuck, I addressed the whole shipping thing in the last episode. Really not going to say anything more about that. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that I've already addressed that. It will be at your address pretty soon. Yeah. So where was I? Queen X. You're dreading taking him to Algeria. Well, here's the thing. Leave that 2-year-old home and take me. I've always wanted to go Algeria. Guys, today's topic. Oh, sorry to hear, Chuck. I hope things are getting better for you, but trust me, it's on its way. It's on its way. If you guys don't know, Chuck won the Pepper Mill last couple weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, maybe. Car Freak all the way from New York. I'll be on a live radio program on Sunday out of New York, so I will share more info on that if you guys want to tune in. Tina, too cute. How are you doing? Today's topic, I don't know I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared on us. But here's the thing: the older I get, I realize that there are certain foods I can no longer eat and be comfortable. And I can't eat certain things anymore. We got Makia. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Makia is talking about pepper sauce from Trinidad, and there was a scorpion pepper in there. You see that thing there? I respect that scorpion pepper. To be honest with you, I can eat a lot of hot stuff, but that scorpion, I keep away from it. But I don't know if you guys encounter stomach problems, and it's not about going to the bathroom or anything. It's just this uncomfortable, bloated, you don't feel right, you feel lethargic, or all these different things. I don't know if you guys come across that, but I find for the past year or so, flour. I grew up with roti, dumpling, coconut bake, breads, homemade bread. My mom, my dad would always make that stuff, and I find now I just can't process it anymore. It's just the sort of I still crave it, but just doesn't work out anymore. I don't know if you guys have any problems with that, and I think it has to do with the type of flour that we're getting now. That whole GMO thing is for real. The amount of chemicals that's in there, the fact that most of the flour is bleached and all that stuff like that. Archie D is talking about dairy, and I know a lot of people can't process the dairy anymore or never could. Gluten-free roti. Yeah, Kristen, I will definitely have to take a look at it. I could only imagine, Queen. It's an Algerian thing. Actually, it's a whole African thing. It's an Indian thing as well. We eat a lot of flatbreads and stuff like that. In the Caribbean, we eat a lot of dumplings and all that stuff like that too. Fried, boiled, steamed. Live now. Yeah, exactly. The notice I didn't say live now. See what I'm talking about, guys? I don't know if you. Maurice is saying that he never got the live now notification. But as I get older, some other things like curry, for instance, I can eat curry, but then it's a risk. I can eat my own, but when I go out and I eat someone else's, I risk not being able. I am of mixed heritage. I think I may have mentioned that before. On my mom's side is of East Indian background, and on my dad's side, mixed like crazy as well. What we call Red Spanish or Spanish. Thus the last name De La Rosa. As you know, what I'm gonna do, Hailey, I got my DNA results back. My heritage, that is. I wasn't trying to figure out who my daddy was. A few months ago, I'll share that on chrisdelarosa.com. Yeah, I'm gonna share that with you guys. You guys are gonna be surprised. I even have Japan. I found out I had Japanese and Pacific Islander in me as well too, and the whole African, West African, Nigeria, Ghana. Um, Nigeria, Ghana, and somewhere else there as well too. It's all I'll share that on chrisdelarosa.com. After moving to Canada, someone's talking about allergies there. When I moved to Canada, I developed serious allergies to the point where I was sick every day of the year, and they had to do some tests on me. And I had a special needle I would get every week. After about 5 years of doing that, I put on quite a bit of weight. There was a lot of steroids in there as well, too, I think. And I decided I was going to go cold turkey, not doing anymore. And luckily, I don't know what it is happened, but a switch turned off, and I no longer have those allergies. I still have it from time to time, but not every day um, as I used to have it. RCD, please share. Now, what are we asking to share, RCD? I don't have, if it's the DNA results you're talking about, I don't, it's on my, I'm on my laptop now, and in front of me is my desktop computer, and that's where it's at. I don't think I have it written down. Maybe in the next episode, I will talk more about my DNA and stuff like that with you guys. Other things I can't eat besides the flour and the curry. Well, I can still eat curry, but I've got to make it, or when my mom makes it, or when my aunt makes it. But other than that, I run into problems. Um, Lentils, stewed red beans, and I grew up eating a lot of beans and stuff like that. Um, Dal, yo, I used to love me some dal. I used to drink it just like soup, man. Um, can't do it anymore. But one of the things I found is that, and while it's probably not for everyone, I find that if I take a couple of gas pills before, it tends to help me. So maybe once a month or something, I don't want to go cold turkey on foods that I like, but that tends to help. I'm looking. I've never been a fan of peanuts. Peanut butter. I've never made a peanut butter sandwich. Just not for me. Um, the only way I like peanuts is in peanut punch to drink. And as far as pork goes, funny enough, my uncle used to tell me before he passed away. Um, Trinity Cooking is saying, Natasha is saying, drink half teaspoon baking soda with water for heartburn. I don't necessarily suffer with heartburn. It's more gas and bloating and stuff like that when I eat these foods that I mentioned, Natasha. Um, my uncle used to always say whenever he ate pork, he would have nightmares, people beating him. And I would always laugh. And I found that the past year or something, every time I eat pork and I go to bed, I have nightmares too, man. I made fun of the dude too much. Rest in peace, Uncle Pepe. But it's happening to me too, man. And I can't sleep. I toss and turn and stuff like that. So I love pork. I have no qualms against pork. I don't discriminate. I will eat any and everything. But pork giving me some serious problems these days as well too. Um, to whole milk. What I've been playing around with Makia is speaking about milk. The only milk and only dairy I really put into my system is with my tea in the morning or my coffee. And I went to an organic milk. I pay a little bit more for it, but I find that it works really, really well. The taste is better. It's cleaner tasting and stuff like that. Oh my word, I can't eat Julie mangoes anymore. Sharon, I say a prayer for you because if I couldn't eat Julie mango anymore, I would definitely have issues. I just came back from home and mangoes in season. Well, it was the last lap of mango. And my uncle saved me some mango from the tree in the back when I went to visit him. Yo, I killed those mangoes, boy. Um, I T. What is it? I love my barbecue ribs. I tried being a vegetarian. It was like poking a bear. African Trinidadian food is never promoted. It depends on how you look at it, because here's the thing about, especially in Trinidad, is that our food is so intermingled with the different races, with the different nationalities, and everything that at one point or the other came to Trinidad for one reason or the other. That sometimes it's hard to identify which is which. Like you look, for instance, um, you look at stew chicken, you look at kalalo, you look at pilau, and these are stuff that you can probably trace back in one form or the other to West Africa. Um, and you see quite a bit out there, but for some reason or the other, when people think Trinidad and Tobago, even you look at Jamaica, for instance, and people think curry goat. Curry, come on, that's Indian. You know what I mean? There's nothing really Caribbean about that. While we do make it good, we do make it very good. Um, I think part of the problem is, and this is what I'm working on as well, as far as African food of from the Caribbean being promoted more. I'm expanding more, and I'm going to be doing more stuff with Haiti, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and all those different islands. And they tend to have held on to their sort of African heritage more than some of the other islands, where the influence was stronger from different races and ethnicities and stuff like that. Chuck is asking, can you still eat codfish and ackee? Chuck, I have a can of ackee in my cupboard right now, just calling my name. I'm just waiting for the weekend. Um, why is this idiot? Friends, we have this idiot here. Um, remove, calling people slave. Yeah. Oh man, why do these people come in? Dika. Try Dika. I use it and it really works. What is Dika, Sharon? I don't think I've ever heard of it. Um, authentic. Mr. Dark Ace 28 is asking, what do you consider authentic food as far as culture? For me, it's a variety. It depends on a few things. And this is one of the problems we run into. Well, me specifically, is that this idiot again, man. Why is this person? It's for gas. Oh, okay. Um, hey Alex, how you doing? We were talking about authenticity of foods. Depends on which island you're from and stuff like that, because there's two parts to answer that question. One, it depends on which island you're specifically from, and that island would have been the authenticity of the food would have been influenced by the people who came. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the Caribbean, or you probably don't know your history as much, we have the native people of the Caribbean. Columbus didn't discover nobody. We were already here. Then we had the colonizers. So, and the native people would be like the Caribs, the Arawaks, Tianos, all the different sort of Indian groups, right? Troll alert, baby girl, don't fret, man. This person's an idiot. Just trying to rile people up. After, so then we had the colonizers. So the Spanish, the French, the Dutch, it, Portuguese, and they all influence the foods of the Caribbean. We had slaves from West Africa who came to work the sugar cane and the cotton and stuff like that during slavery. When slavery was abolished, they brought in indentured laborers from China and India. So this is where that whole curry and Chinese food thing comes into play in the Caribbean. And we're talking about 150, 175 years ago. So that has worked its way into the authenticity of the Caribbean foods. Then about 100 years ago, especially in places like Trinidad and Tobago, where you had people from the Middle East, so like Lebanon and Syria, come to live. Um, so as far as authenticity, it depends on how you look at it, and the influence on the island. The other part to that question is, some people tell me, well, Chris, I may post um, very true, Hilasi. We were enslaved. um, no laughing matter either. It is very serious. Um, what I was going to say is that sometimes I may post a recipe and someone will come and say, well, that is not Caribbean food. Well, here's the thing. If you travel through the Caribbean and you've been paying attention to the food of the Caribbean, it has been evolving. You look at where we came from to where we're at now. So if you make a burger and you say that's not Caribbean food, yeah, you are right. But what do we classify Caribbean food? Food that's cooked in the Caribbean, food that's enjoyed in the Caribbean, food you can buy in the Caribbean? Because if that's the case, I can go and buy a burger, I can make a burger, and I know my friends when they hang out, they make burgers and stuff like that. While you think burgers is North American, we add our own seasonings and everything to it. So we've adopted and make changes to it. So sometimes it's very it's difficult to really take some people seriously when they say, well, that's not food. And I'm only using burger as an instance, right? Um, Sharon is saying that her mother is from Tobago and she learned to cook from her. And I must say, I do change things up. And, that's the fun of cooking and food and stuff like that, is that you may take a recipe that I made and you will change it. And I really hope you guys play around with it. You know what I mean? Rochelle, how you doing? Um, um, Play around with it, add your own personal touch to it, and do your own thing. But at the same time, what I try to impress on people is that we've got to pass on our culinary heritage to our youth. And we should still cook some traditional dishes at home. And in cooking, share that experience with our kids, with our family, with your kids' friends, with your neighbors. And they will better um, be in a better position to understand you and where your culture is. And come on, we have hundreds of years of culture and tradition in the Caribbean, right? Like we gave the world soca, reggae, steel pan, chutney, this zouk, all these different things we gave the world. So we have a lot of culture in us, man. Very true, Mr. Doc is 20. I quite agree. Um, Cheryl, yeah, we do. We do give it our own flair. Highly, be careful with cultural appropriation. Yeah, it seems to be one of those things. Alicia, how are you doing? All the way from Tobago. I tried to get to Tobago last week, but I simply couldn't. We still have those issues with the ferry and everything else, so I didn't want to go and get stuck there. Brenda's asking what is pilau. Yeah, you're in store for one of the best dishes you've ever had, Brenda. And Brenda, what it is, we would take, for instance, if we were doing a chicken pilau, you could do chicken, pork, beef, shrimp, seafood. It's like a paella, but better. So it's an all-in-one dish. So you would take chicken, you would season, marinate it overnight, then you would stew it down, brown sugar, stew it. Then you would go in with peas and carrots and celery and stuff like that. And when I say season, I mean really season. Mostly with herbs though, not all those spices and stuff, like crazy spices. Um, so you would do that, then you cook that down, you add some coconut milk, you put rice in there, you cook pigeon peas in there, and then you just let that all go down and cook and make the grains of rice becomes nice and plump. And you add some ginger in there as well. The flavors from the meat and the herbs and everything flavors everything, and you gotta serve it with some cucumbers, some watercress, some coleslaw. If you've got avocado on the side, yo, I'm getting hungry. Let me stop here. T. Hayward is asking, here we celebrate Thanksgiving with turkey and ham and so forth. What's a Caribbean Thanksgiving like? For the most part, we don't have a Thanksgiving in the Caribbean, but we do celebrate Christmas. Just about every household, no matter which race or religion, and we have quite a few religions in the Caribbean. All the big ones are there: Hinduism, Muslim, Christianity, on all different forms. But I think our big festive food times is usually around Diwali, Idul Fitr, and Christmas. And on Christmas time, there's a lot of meats and stews and ham. Number one, you got to have ham. You've got to have, for instance, in Guyana, they would do pepper pot. It's a stew that just sits and bubbles on the fridge, and you would dip your bread in there and eat it and stuff like that. So while we never adopted this whole Thanksgiving thing, um, you will find a lot of roasted meats, a lot of and we don't say roast chicken, we say baked chicken for the most part as well. In the oven, but we bake it, right? And true. Riz G is saying every Sunday in Trinidad is like our Thanksgiving, and I think that is like the norm throughout the Caribbean, where every Sunday if there's a big meal, a big spread. Your family come over and everybody sit down, they eat, they enjoy, and right, this kicks in and people fall asleep and stuff like that. But I have good memories about this whole Sunday meal kind of thing. But that's when my cousins would come over and my dad would make coconut ice cream and he would be there turning the pail and yo man. Marcano is cooling me, eh? Marcano is saying that um um that if you could hit that thumbs up there, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you have a question or you have a comment, remember the topic today is foods you can no longer eat the older you get. And we spoke about some of them. Made in a clay pot, a 25-year-old clay pot. That is interesting. I'll have to do some research on that. Dear Jones, pilau is say Dear Jones is saying pilau is the Caribbean version of rice pilaf. Well, yeah, I'd still say no because I haven't come across a rice dish. I've had biryani, I've had pilaf, I have had paella. Nothing compares to a good pilau. Even cook up. A brethren from Guyana is trying to tell me that the Guyanese cook up is better than a Trimbigonian pilau. Think again, buddy. You ain't eating the right pilau. Nika is saying that her granny is 82 and can't handle spices anymore. Yeah, I was fortunate. Um, my grandmother on both sides, my grandmother, and I spoke about this before, my grandmother, my dad's side was 104 when she passed, and my grandmother, my mom's side was 99. And fortunately, they never had to change their diet. Hardworking people were able to do everything right up to the end for the most part. And they ate good, they worked hard, and overall good people. So they didn't really have to make any sort of diet changes, as far as I know. Someone was asking about carnival. I can't see the comment now, unfortunately, but I will leave that topic. I'm going to talk carnival maybe in another episode because it's a lovely topic to talk about, and we can because just about every island in the Caribbean have their own version of carnival, and you will get slight nuances on each island. For instance, last year I was in Barbados for crop over. What an experience! Um, so we will save that topic for another time. A meatless stew peas recipe. There is one on the web. There's two on the website: a lentil, and a dry pigeon peas. There should be two of them on the website right now. Um, oh, Mr. Queen is saying, I think sorrel is the youth potion. Yo, I love me some sorrel. I've got some in the fridge right now, actually. Sita is saying she can't do spices anymore. Tracy Will, thanks for joining us tonight. Um, Yo, baby girl Dash is saying that her grands move faster than me. I can relate, man. You should see my dad. My dad, he zips by. For every time I go home, he takes me hunting or he takes me in the forest and stuff like that where we grew up. And this man would beeline into the woods, man. And I'm thinking, yeah, there might be a snake around that corner waiting for me. Yeah. No, Bianca is asking. Hello, Bianca. Thanks for joining in. If you can't get pigeon peas, can I use frozen peas? The texture is totally different. Frozen peas will just collapse on you the longer it cooks. It's not the same. The texture is just not the same. Three ways you can get it. You can get it fresh sometimes at Caribbean grocery stores, or you can go to Caribbean, Asian, and most supermarkets have it in a can now. There is green pigeon peas and dry pigeon peas, what you call Congo peas. You can get like that. What I recently found in the frozen section of most of the Asian markets is actual green pigeon peas, which they shelled, they washed, and they froze. Now, the thing with that, you may want to boil it first before you cook it, because it tends to have a sort of a sap or something on there that you really need to boil it off. How long can sorrel stay in the freezer? I've got Elizabeth is asking how long can sorrel stay in the freezer. I kid you not, Elizabeth. I've had sorrel. My dad makes it. He puts it into water bottles for me, and I freeze it. And whenever I want it, I use it. Um, at least a year. It's been in the freezer for a year, and it comes out, thaws out. I do whatever I want with it. How do you eat saltfish, Bianca? How can you do a salt? Oh, Bianca's asking, can you do a saltfish video? There's been a number of saltfish videos on the website. And if you check my other channel, Food FAQ, you're going to see I have a video on there how to prepare salted cod. You soak it, you wash it, you boil it, and then you remove most of the salt, and then you can shred it and do whatever you want with it. Anise79 is asking about soursop. Soursop is one of my weaknesses too. I love the soursop itself. And as a kid growing up on the islands, whenever we had problems sleeping or we just wanted a nice tea, my mom would take the what they call soursop bud, the baby leaves of the soursop tree, and she would boil it, put some milk in there and some sweetener, whatever, sugar, condensed milk, whatever, and make soursop tea for us. That thing calms you down like nothing, man. It's really, really good, very delicious as well. Um, I appreciate that, Bianca. Um, can you can't eat sweet bread? Oh, I haven't had sweet bread in a long time, and that is because I am borderline diabetic, so I have to stay away from sugars. So you guys, that's probably one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of dessert recipes on here. It's because I keep away from sugar as much as I can, right? Doughboy, Chris, do you make doughboy? Which island is doughboy from, Risha? I hope Risha. I'm sure I pronounced your name incorrectly, but I do apologize for that. I really feel like Caribbean food drinks are a lot more healthy and fresher than our usual American diet. Mystic Queen 1983. 20 years ago, I would agree with you. 15 years, I would agree with you. But lately, when I go back to the islands, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, yeah? No, I have not made it yet. You're talking about a doughboy. Um, what I'm seeing, and one of the things in the last video we did, we spoke about diet and stuff like that as it relates to the Caribbean, and it's just getting worse. We're not as healthy as and eating as healthy as we think we are. The stuff that you see in the markets and all that, they look nice and green and they really stand out and stuff like that. The tomatoes, the vegetables, everything. You really don't want to go and take a tour of a garden. You're going to see chemicals being used there like crazy. So yeah, we got to really take a closer look at our diet. Peep the last video we did. You're going to like that one. Baby girl is talking about the lime leaf as tea and cinnamon leaf. Yeah, two teas I grew up with, other than we call every hot drink tea, Milo, Ovaltine, everything, green tea, everything is tea. But I did enjoy lime bud tea as well, the baby lime leaves. Christine, my husband reduced. Hey, well done, sir. Pass on my congrats to him. I'm riding 20 miles on a broad walk every day. That is awesome. I wish I could ride. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys last week, but I busted both my knees, so I'm not as mobile as I would like to be. I used to love corn soup, but it doesn't agree with me anymore. Egypt Pharaoh, here's the thing. I've never liked corn soup, so I'm glad I'm not in that position like you. I've never been a fan of corn soup. Never. It just wasn't for me. Give me boiled corn, give me roasted corn. I'm cool with that, but don't give me no corn soup. I ain't able. Every soap powder is called breeze in Trinidad. Yeah, you kind of letting us know your age there, dear. How's the knee today? A lot better. A lot better. I'm working on it. I'm still waiting for MRIs on both of them, but so it goes, you know. Twinkies as a kid. I was never a fan of Twinkies, but I know one of my little cousins, she was big into Twinkies as well too. Pine skin cherries and plum. I love me some plum, man. I don't think I've ever tried pine skin cherries though. Yeah, that is true. Most of the stuff we get are BB is saying that corn is mostly bad, especially in the US. It's GMO. 99% of the stuff that we eat is GMO, so it's kind of hard to get away from it, especially when you're on a limited budget. Have you? I don't know if you guys paying attention, but if you're trying to really get organic, and it depends on how organic stuff truly are, can be very expensive. I wish I could, but I'm on as a single father, three kids, so there are certain things I have to do without at this point. Um, Sour cherries. I wish they would sell in the US and Canada sour cherries. Yeah. I was home recently and I had some. I'm not a huge fan of it. Uh, there's only 36 and you know about breeze, eh? All right. um, I love spotty ripe bananas, but I think I'm developing an allergy to it. As a kid growing up on the islands, I ate so much banana. My dad had banana trees in the back of the house, in the front of the house, all over, different varieties. And I'm talking about banana where if you were to put two of those bananas in your house right now, you would think it was a scented candle. I'm talking the scent would just blow you away. You've never smelled banana until you've gone to the Caribbean or somewhere and had actual banana. I ate so much as a kid. I can't tell you the last day I put banana in my mouth. I've no liking for it anymore. It's not an allergy thing or anything. I just don't like it anymore. I had too much as a kid. Um, Sharon Pierre Lewis is saying that there's a lady in St. Lucia who packages the teas we were talking about, like the cinnamon, lemongrass, turmeric, neem, moringa, ginger. To check her out, Rigo Doll Spice on Facebook. I will. Thank you so much for that. Um, what fillings would you do for Johnny Cakes? Well, Johnny Cakes, for me personally, I like stewed saltfish. Nothing else. Just give me stewed salted cod with tomatoes and onions and garlic and some herbs in there, Bianca. And I'm on solid for days. Um, Pineapple skin drink is delicious. I quite agree. I think I did one not too long ago. Angel is saying she can't do dairy anymore. Baked macaroni and cheese without the milk and cheese. Oh gosh. Do some dairy free stuff. I just bought some dairy free cheese and I'm playing around with it to see um what the results are. What about Makia is talking about Pomerac? I haven't had it in years. For those of you, for my Jamaican friends, I think you guys call it pear. I'm not sure what the other islands call it, but I remember being in Jamaica a few years ago and everybody was selling it on the roadside. And I was like, oh, gosh, Pomerac, boy. And then my Jamaican friend who I travel with, he's like, you mean pear, right? I go, no, Pomerac. He said pear. And it was the joke of the day. Charles, thank you so much. I shall. Hello, Lisa. How you doing? Lisa Mendoza. Organic, grass-fed, wild-caught, very expensive. Well, here's the thing, though. Trish Tate. Yeah, Trish Tate is saying organic, grass-fed, wild-caught, all very expensive. But a friend made a good point that either you spend the money on the food or you spend it later on medication. But here's the thing. What if you don't have the money right now? And that is the problem most of us, well, a lot of people have, is that affording the stuff right now. So would you spend $20 on a piece of chicken or $20 on a piece of chicken, a piece of pork, a piece of fish, and maybe a couple potatoes. You see where I'm going? So some people, if you have the means, I'm sure we would. I just feel that the government and those in authority should be doing a little bit more, and they should be thinking like that. Hey, if we make the good stuff more affordable for them, we don't have to spend as much in healthcare, especially here in Canada, on healthcare later on to fix them up. You know what I mean? Baby girl, do you eat sapodilla? Gosh, I love me some sapodilla. Wait, now there's there's a different meaning to that too, baby girl. There's a soca, an old time calypso. Um, yes, baby's asking, how long do you need to soak bacalao, which is salted cod? I don't soak it, baby, but if you soak it overnight and you toss the water out about 3 times, it's cool. The quicker method for me is to boil it in a deep pot of water for about 20 minutes, drain that, rinse it out, and then shred it, and I'm good to go. Word, Reno? We got to talk, man. All the way in Barcelona. There's a market in Barcelona. I want to come out and visit, man. Tell you what, you take me around that market and I'll make you a curry crab and dumpling when I get there, man. um, yeah, Johnny's talking about doubles, a perfect snack or savory breakfast. Too much cholesterol and curry. Johnny, for the most part, what people don't realize, there's hardly any, or if not no curry in the chana for doubles. A lot of people don't realize that it's just boiled with some seasonings and stuff like that. There really isn't any curry in that. So whoever's making it with curry, they're doing it wrong. But that fried food, yeah, it's just too much cholesterol. The last 2 times I've been home, I didn't even eat the doubles. I wanted to, but I know later on I'm gonna pay for it, right? Oh, the little dog is moving around there. My daughter's little dog is Makosha. That dog always trying to see what I'm doing, man. Well, guys, it's been almost 40 minutes. I'm gonna jump on the Facebook channel now and do a live chat on there. How you doing, Pauline? That's my cousin's name, Charmine. Cinnamon and ginger tea. I will. I'm gonna jump on now. I'm gonna jump on to the Facebook thing. We gotta chat with the peoples on there. I love you guys so much for joining in, for the support. Got a few new things coming up. Remember, guys, we're doing July month of grilling. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but we did the go over. Someone asked earlier what new recipes are coming. Aklima Ali from New Jersey. How you doing? Beshma, how you doing? So we've got the guava barbecue sauce we just did. I have a jerk lobster tail coming up. We've got a lime cilantro scallop recipe coming up. We've got a balsamic guava. What else do I have there? I have a goat's leg. I bought a goat's leg. My friend who writes for the In-Flight magazine for Caribbean Airlines, and her recent article, she spoke about roasting a goat's leg. Mama, I can't wait to try that one on the grill. So you guys gonna see that. What type of coconut milk did I use? Pauline is asking for the coconut strawberry ice cream. I just used the canned stuff. I don't have access to the fresh stuff here. So I just used the basic canned stuff, Pauline. Renacia Griffin, hey Chris, I would like some keto recipes. Interestingly enough, my kids, they're downstairs and they're sending me messages. Hey, can we go get Dairy Queen? Yeah, go and get it. Nobody waiting for me. I got these kids. Interestingly enough, I had a conversation with a gentleman today in the grocery store, and he was telling me all about the keto diet, and he dropped an older gentleman, 25 pounds in the last 3 months. So it's something I'm going to start playing around with pretty soon as well, too. I think, and what he was telling me, I don't know much about it, but what he was telling me, I was telling him what I do and stuff like that, and he's saying it's a good fit for Caribbean cuisine as well. So we'll play around with that keto diet pretty soon. Martha de Freitas, Down in Aruba. Love me some Aruba, man. Kerry Lee from all the way from South Australia. Baby girl, that's for Dairy Queen too. Could I go? Oh man. Yo, here's the thing about that Dairy Queen. They've got Dairy Cream, strawberry shortcake ice cream cake in the fridge, in the freezer, and I'm not seeing anyone do it, man. Yeah, we see. Healthy fats and low carbs, keto diet. Thank you. Um, friends, thank you so much again. Long time. See how you're doing. God bless you and your family. Mike Angel, appreciate it, man. You guys, if you guys could hit that thumbs up, that'd be greatly appreciated. Yo, my American friends, you know this? I'm wearing olive flag on my shirt here. I know all they just did all their July 4th thing, so I just hitting all their little props right there. The Raptor shirt coming back soon. Don't study that. Speaking about shirts, I was in the dollar store about 3 days ago, and I was wearing my Superman T-shirt. Yo, Granny come chatting up me, and she's like, "Oh, so you Superman?" I was like, "Yeah," and the topic turned the topic turned fast, boy. Granny wasn't easy. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for joining in. Next Thursday, we're gonna have another episode of Recipe Chit Chat. Remember that today's topic was all about foods you can no longer eat as you get older. Thanks for joining in. Make it a great evening, and we will talk again soon. If you guys want, you can jump over on the Facebook page. Seems I've got to make a run to Dairy Queen now, so we'll see. Enjoy your evening, guys. Thank you.